Okay, here's one that we don't see every day. This transmission is out of a 1958 Packard, and this transmission is designated as a Borg Warner 8, automatic 3-speed. All right, this has 2 sets of clutches and 2 bands. One band is for intermediate second, one band is for reverse, and you have 2 sets of clutches, forward and direct. All right, so the problem with this transmission, the reason why we got it here, is because when the car is cold, the car will not move. So basically, you gotta start up the car, let the thing run for 20 to 30 minutes, and then the car will eventually move forward. All right, and a common problem back in the day, or that was with also Ford C4s, C5s, C3s, and the common problem with these transmissions back in the day was the seals would be very hard and brittle, and the car had to run so the transmission fluid would get hot, and when the transmission fluid got hot, it would soften up the seals enough to let the oil in and apply the clutch. All right, but cold, the car will not move. So when we take this apart and get to the forward clutch, the seals are probably going to break. The rubber seals are probably going to break like it's a piece of plastic, very hard and brittle. So I wanted to give you a shot of this thing now, and then I'm going to flip it and take the pan down, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to take this apart. I really haven't worked on one of these in a while, so I'm going to kind of break it down and then do like a highlight video, show you guys what the problem is and stuff like that. But it's been a while since I worked on one of these. It's really not that bad to do. The linkage can get a little funky, and setting the bands up, but I'm going to take the pan down and show you that now. And this is the pump here. Take the bolts out. This thing was covered. You couldn't even see the transmission case. This thing was totally covered in mud. And I had one of the guys, we laid out a big piece of cardboard and we scraped it, and I just scraped the bottom to get the pan bolts out, I drained it and took the pan off and put a couple bolts back in. So basically the pump, these 4 bolts will come out, the pump will slide out. And here's the extension housing. There's probably a governor back here. There may even be a rear pump. I'm honestly not sure. And you got a couple of bolts here. These are for the center support. There's going to be one also inside the transmission, so I got 3 center support bolts. And then you'll see we're going to drop the pan. There'll be the intermediate piston for the reverse. There'll be that set up. There'll be the regulator set up for the pressure regulator valves, is separate from the valve body, a couple of tubes and a filter. So I just kind of wanted to give you a shot of this, and also this here is how you check the fluid. Okay, so basically what you have to do is, there's a spot in the car where maybe there's a little trap door or something when you lift the carpet up, and you can check the fluid that way. But it's not your, of course, conventional filler tube, dipstick. You got to check it inside the car. Lift up the carpet, trap door, and check the fluid. So this is what this thing here looks like. And you have adjustment here for the reverse band, and the adjustment for the intermediate band is inside. And there's a tag here. Tag says automatic transmission. It's a Studebaker, Packard company, Warner Gear Division. And again, they designate this as a Borg Warner 8. So let me get a little closer. We're going to flip it up, take the pan down, I'll take the filter off, I'll kind of show you what that looks like. And then maybe I'll just pull this pump off too. I'll scrape this down a little bit and pull this pump off so we can see that. And then I'll have to continue with this tomorrow morning. But I kind of wanted to show you this before I take this thing all apart. I'm going to kind of do this very carefully, lay things out so I know how everything goes. And as old as this is, it probably is not going to be an issue to get parts for this thing. All right, so let me get a little closer and we will start with that. All right. So I had to scrape just a little more dirt. Now let's get these pump bolts out, because this whole thing should come right out as one. It's gonna be fun cleaning this thing. All right, there's your pump bolts here. Let's see. Okay. All right, so here is the pump. I'm going to take these two bolts out. That'll expose the pump. O-ring here. Oh. All right, here's the pump O-ring, right? So that's what the rest of the O-rings look like too. This is rubber. Now we know what we're dealing with. When we get to the clutch packs. And let me show you what this thing looks like here. All right, so I'm going to take the filler tube out, or a dipstick, I should say. Okay. The fluid actually is pretty clean. I'm not sure how long this guy owned this car, but here's the pan. All right, so we got this here holding the filter in, so we're gonna lift this off, take this off. All right, here's the filter. Got some clutch material and crap on there. That's the other side of the filter. No O-ring or nothing, just sits on there. All right, now here is the pressure regulator assembly. This is for the intermediate band, and here's the adjustment. This is for the reverse band, and this is the valve body. All right, and this is a tube, probably. Maybe this goes possibly to the rear pump. Now to take this apart, for instance, you got to pull all the tubes out, so I'm going to take a couple shots of this with the cell phone. All right, and to get this body out, there's a bolt under here. So we got to push this forward. Got to push it forward and you got to release that. There we go. All right. And then these springs will come out. And you got to actually pull this out, which is the seat of the spring, and then you can get, this will go in, and then you can get the bolt. Right here, and one right here. All right, so we'll put these aside. Put this aside. Then we pull the tubes out. I could take these two out here. Let me get my puller. All right, this one kind of goes way down into the case. There's a hole right down in there, so that's this tube here. And then what we'll do is we would take the regulator assembly off. I can do that now actually. And then this would come off together second, and then this would come off because there is a bolt here, which is also the center support bolt. The third center support bolt would be that one. So let me take these two out. Let me get a socket. Okay, looks like the socket may be out. Chrome 716. Let's see, what is that? All right, let me see if it's here. Let's see. Okay, so this is the regulator assembly here. Here's the valves. So we'll clean all the valves up. Clean everything up. This is the other one. That's like the main regulator. Okay, so next these two would come out as one. And we got that linkage. And it has been a while. I'll take this, and this. All right, that's pretty loose there. And then we're gonna get this one. Let me get a socket for that. Give me 1 second here. Let me just find one. These. Now there is the strut, the band strut. That's holding it. Okay. Lift this off. Manual valve, throttle valve. Here's for the servo, for the band. Fell in here. The strut fell all the way down in there. I'll have to get that out. Alright, so here's the anchor for the band. And here's the intermediate band. Alright, and now let's take that one off. This might be a little larger. Size up. Let me grab that. Okay, see the tip of that? That is for the center support. And let's take this one out. Okay. Okay, there's the strut. Here's the servo. Now, what I actually have to do here to take this out is there is a roll pin that I'm going to knock out to take this shaft out, to take this actuator out, to open this and change the seals in there. That kind of all comes back to you as you're working on it. And everything actually is going to come out this way. But it's after hours here and I actually have to go, let's just pull this tube out. This has an O-ring on it. Okay, right down there. And now what I'm going to do tomorrow is I'm going to pull this, there's a side, not sure what's behind here. I'm going to take this off. I got to clean it off real good. Take this off, see if there's a governor or something I got to unscrew and take off. And then the tail housing, and then everything will come out. But either way, I'll do, you know, try to do kind of like a highlight video, or if I get this thing apart, I'll put the camera back on, but I gotta kind of see how this is gonna come apart. All right, so that is all for now. And I will catch up with you guys in the morning. All right, back with you this morning. So I took on the outside the 2 center support bolts out. You can see that has the tip on them to go into the center support to keep it steady. And I took the bolts out of the extension housing, so this will just slide right off. Come off and stay as one, but looks like these tubes are giving me a bit of a hard time. So let's take the snap ring out. Here to keep the gear from spinning. Alright, this looks good, no ring grooves in here. Okay, so there was actually a tube all the way down in here in this pocket. So I got the tube out. There was an O-ring on here that was hard as a rock. So now this should come right out. And the tubes both go in here. And this more than likely is a rear pump. Okay. Got the strut for the reverse band. Alright, I'm going to take line it out. Wow, busted up a washer in here. First band pretty much is worn out. That's going to have to be changed. This is alright, I can fix that. And there is a I don't know what we're going to do with this thing here. There's a busted washer in here. You can see that. Gotta try to get that thing out. Shouldn't, you know, there's like some cuts in it that might be able to lift out around the gears, so I'll have to work on that. Here's a direct run. That band's gonna be no good. Center support, that's what the bolts hold in. Alright, we got a couple of washers here for brake drum. And then there's a couple of rings that I have to take off. To get that shaft out. Okay, and then washers go here, and here. This band looks like it's pretty much wiped out. See if I can sneak out the forward drum. Forward drum. These bands are no good. You need both bands. And here is the strut. Alright, so this case is stripped. Alright, so let me just reposition here. I'll get on the two drums. We'll open up the two drums. I want to open up this and see what we find. But all these O-rings seem pretty hard and brittle. Okay. So we have a washer here, washer here. It's actually stuck on here. I'll have to work on that. These steels all look kind of bent up. Thick snapper in here. Snap ring, return spring. And this is the piston, it's just spinning in here. So here's the forward O-ring, one of them. So this is the rubber O-ring. And then the one in here, I can't really even get under. That's really bad. I can't even get under that one. But this definitely is the problem here. And this one's even worse, the inner one. The inner one here, I can't even. All right, well that's hard as a rock too. So let's take a look at these. These actually are like metal friction discs. This is what they used to use back in the day. We used to have these things actually on the shelf. Alright, so let's actually take a look at the pump here, and then we can finish it up. So it's been a while since I opened one of these. I don't know how many years, 20 years maybe more. We're at this location at the shop where we are now. We moved here 25 years ago, and we were down the street in another building for 27 years, and I don't think I opened up one of these here. So it definitely has been a while. Okay, this looks all right. We got a bushing in here. Doesn't look bad. Got a front seal, which I'm sure is hard as a rock. Bushing. And the gears look pretty good. So you got the little lip here on the gear, that's going to face the converter. The converter we actually had sent out to get rebuilt because the hub was no good. You know, a little step in the hub and stuff like that. So, you know, we'll be doing a front seal and see if we can get a pump bushing, change all that. Alright, so I think that's about it. Again, this is a couple of rings here. I'll just wait for the compressor to stop. So this looks like it is, as I said, a rear pump. Get this snap ring out. here's the governor. And check ball to keep that from spinning. Okay, let's put all this together. I got a Honda 5-speed on this bench, I got a Nag one there. I got a few more Hondas that I gotta come out. And this should, assuming, lift right off. Gasket on each side, and that's your rear pump. There should be something, yeah, there's a keyway. Little keyway for the pump gears, right there. And then you'll have a washer. Like that. And those other tubes go in here. All right, so I think that is about it for this Borg Warner 8. I just don't know what I'm going to do with this thing here. I gotta see if I can fish this washer out. You know, this thing actually, when it opened, it probably spread. So it's not going to be so easy to come out, but I can probably get it. And install another one. There we go. Here's the washer. This doesn't feel too bad in here. It's in pretty bad shape. Okay, once again, 1958 Packard. The transmission is designated as a Borg Warner 8. And pretty much what the problem was, car didn't move probably about the first 20 to 30 minutes that it was running. And then after that it would move once the oil softened up. But again, this one in here, I'm gonna have to get something in here to crack it, the rubber, to try to get that thing out. But you saw how bad the other O-ring was, the other seal for the forward drum here. So that's definitely a problem. And now the search is on for parts, which shouldn't be a problem, as I said. There's a company in New Jersey called Fatsco. And they have all parts for all these older cars. They got overhaul kits, they got pretty much everything. I'm going to see what my supplier has, what Transtar has first, and then we'll probably just get the rest from them. So that's about it on this one. It certainly has been a while, you know, at least 25 years since I opened up one of these. These are similar to early Ford models like Model 65 and FMX, very early Ford FMX. Kind of resembles that, so it's not that bad to do, but you know, it's been a while. So we got to search down for parts now, and washers and bands and clutches and steels, and rebuild this thing and get it back in the car. So I thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and we will see you next one.